Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 162. I am Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinitsky. Hello.
Hey, that's me. Hi.
And I assume Jana's still here in the Discord with us.
Hello.
Excellent. Hi, Jana.
Hi.
So, I want to start off this episode like I do on every other episode. Patreon. Shameless plug.
Yes.
Patreon is a platform for content consumers like you to support content producers like us. Head on over to patreon.com/Carbitrage and check out our 2 levels of open-ended support. The basic one gets you eternal love and undying prosper from our hearts, as well as a can koozie. Level 2, I believe it's $5 a month or more, gets you a shirt and a koozie as well. So
That's true. It does.
in addition to being added to our, sorry, I should mention this, you're added to our Patreon Discord automatically if you are signed in and linked to your
Which
Discord
is
account.
quite the good time.
It's getting very active these days, so that's it.
not quite
Oh, for
nightly, but oh my god, my chair completely broke.
That terror in your voice was so genuine.
That's completely broken.
So anyway, while Ryan picks himself up off the floor, I'm going to do the beer segment, or at least start it off, because we haven't done it for a while. I am drinking a Monk's Wit Ale. I actually got this from my local brewery down the street, and I don't even know the story on how they get it, but it's brewed in a monastery in the south of the U.S.
Great,
and
now
it's
I'm gonna have a blood
really
blister.
good. So it's a wheat beer. It's unfiltered, very tasty, and it's ice cold, which is excellent.
I was really hoping this would happen after COVID. Because all the Office Maxes are closed now. And I fucking live in this thing. I've now used all of our F-bombs. I actually had to
You stole mine.
because I had to mute myself because I kept swearing because I pinched my finger. And I'm totally a blood blister now because of this. But I had like 8 consecutive F-bombs in a row.
So welcome again to Carbitrage. This is just how we do it. So anyway, I've got the first topic. I'm gonna keep pushing through as Ryan tries to digest exactly what he's doing.
Just leaning to my left now because I can't lean to my right where I naturally lean.
That's what she said.
This is totally
Anyway,
unusable.
So the car condo complex where I have 2 units down in Chanhassen, and I'm sure you guys have heard, that's where we do the recording. Typically, it's where I got most of my cars. We do a pretty big charity car show there from April to October every year. Unfortunately, even though the weather is cooperating really well these days, the global pandemic is not. So we actually decided as a community to invite a YouTube channel called 2 Guys in a Ride that are local. They do reasonably okay car reviews. Down to our complex, and we got 9 owners to open up their garages for interviews. So these guys, I'm not exactly sure why they dropped them all on the same day. Seems a little strange, but they dropped all the episodes today. So I am number 3. They dropped 9 episodes all at once.
Why would they do that?
They're boomers. I don't know, but
Oh, okay, that makes sense. It's your first time using YouTube. Then.
I am episode 3. So
Fair
if you
enough.
guys want to go see...
I will actually watch it. I'm going to queue that up right now. I'm not going to watch it right now, but I'll queue it up.
Yeah, so that's their main channel in the
those
notes
guys
there.
look like boomers.
They are, and one of them is very Randy-esque, but has less halitosis.
I see him.
Yep. But anyway, it's a... What's that?
Is it the bald guy?
Yes, it is. Super nice guys, though. I enjoyed going through with the garage. They're actually worth watching because you get to see a pretty huge variety of the garages down there, including a couple that I have not even seen in person before. So I'm impressed that they were able to get through to these people. But anyway, I was kind of going to use that to talk about, have you guys seen much of this sort of thing? Because I haven't. Like, outside of this virtual car show thing that the Chanhassen Autoplex decided to do, I really haven't seen a virtual car show being advertised anywhere. I've seen a bunch of really poorly executed birthday drive-by cruises and things like that, but that's just an excuse for people to really not social distance. So I'm curious. Have you seen anything else virtual?
That's about it. I mean, that
I
or
was
just
surprised that Bauhaus didn't do something for Oktoberfest.
You mean Auto Beer Fest?
Yeah.
Where they
That just got canceled, yeah.
I honestly think that they forgot to cancel it.
I think so too, because that just happened today.
I got the notification. Well, actually, I put it in Discord where I said, I got the notification that said that the event was in an hour, and then 1 minute later, I got another notification saying it was canceled. So it says 1 minute event, Auto Beer Fest, Euro only car and motorcycle show, begins at 1300. Saturday, April 25th, 2020 at Bauhaus Brew Labs.
Which is weird, because they sent out an email to everyone that had enrolled or subscribed or whatever, entered in this a long time ago, saying that they were canceling it, and they were giving you options. Yeah, they just did not follow through on their YouTube one, or their Facebook.
Yeah.
So...
Well, I mean, it's also Bauhaus, so Bauhaus is kind of really the greatest with doing their promotions and stuff for car shows and everything. I'm a little salty with their communication.
I can tell, but that's fine.
my previous experiences with trying to work with them for car shows and stuff are just one hand does not talk to the other hand at all. So I'm not too surprised by that.
Fair enough.
Hey, look at that. Episode number 3 of Two Guys in a Ride has Jen Jameson's Murcielago and
it does. They had to really rush the second half of the episode. You can tell that the editing gets really hasty, because apparently the guy interviewing me spent way too much time asking me questions that I was answering. So they had to cut a bunch of stuff out that I thought maybe they shouldn't have necessarily cut all of the.
Well, it's YouTube. Why are they doing it 15 minutes long?
I don't know.
I'm just really confused by that, and the fact that they did all of them exactly the same time. It just seems really odd.
I'll actually pull it up on mute here so you guys can have it running for the stream.
I do really like longer YouTube videos, especially when it's something droning, like interviewing someone.
I don't mind them. I was a lot of times when I sit down, I want something that's 7 to 13 minutes. So if it's 24, exactly. I don't really want it. And these are 15, so they're really in that wheelhouse. But at the same time, these I think could have been a little bit longer, because you have a captive audience essentially that's looking for a car show, and it's they have the charities listed and things like that still. So I think it would have been worth. Well, the first 2 minutes,
the first 2 minutes of this 15-minute show is advertisements and stuff.
Correct, it is.
So
yeah.
It's really it.
Yeah.
13
I haven't seen any car shows doing it, but the Minneapolis Institute of Art this weekend every year has an installation called Art in Bloom, where florists from across Minnesota, maybe even the States, I'm not quite sure where all the florists come from, but they do flower arrangements, versions of works of art that are throughout the museum. So they have a list of different paintings and sculptures and stuff at the beginning of the year, and then the florists choose which works of art they're going to work on, and then they'll do a flower arrangement, and it's just a super immersive experience and a really fun way to see art in a different form. And I was so excited for it this year, because last year I spent my entire weekend at the museum by myself.
Oof.
It's kind of lonely, but it
but
is
what a way to
sometimes.
experience a museum, though.
Yeah.
To be fair, I like going to the museum on my own.
Yeah, because they also had the Sunken Cities exhibit last year, the same weekend, which was an exploration of marine archaeology in Egypt, and then they also had a lecture, another archaeology lecture, the same weekend. So I just spent my entire weekend, and I was like, you know what, that was really fun break of the semester to just go there, and I would go on the tours, but I'd also between the tours I would study, and I was like, I want to bring my students to this, and I decided that in January that we were going to go, and then this came around, the coronavirus happened.
Good timing.
Yeah, so it got canceled, obviously, and then they originally said that they were going to do it digitally, but when I checked up on it again at the beginning of April, they said that it was just flat out canceled, and I was really upset until I saw their Facebook today, and they've posted a bunch of submissions people have done from home.
That's awesome.
A lot of artworks, and some of them aren't necessarily floral arrangements. Some of them are people just recreating the art. So, like, if you're looking at something to do idly, or if you're bored and can't wait until May 4th.
I can become Vincent van Gogh by the time quarantine's over, pretty sure.
Exactly. So
you mean cut your ear and your...
Yes, exactly.
Sir. I wouldn't recommend it, but I mean, I guess you could.
Exactly. See, that's all about the I can part.
Yeah, it's I can, not the I should.
I'm
or
empowered,
I will,
Brian.
I can.
Empowered.
Yeah. So MIA has it on their Facebook page, and it's super cool because they're also posting post works of arts from past Art and Bloom installations. They have my favorite. Somebody interpreted a really dark painting of a tornado, and the flower arrangement they did for that was really cool.
Oh yeah, the St. Paul tornado painting that they have in there.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
But yeah,
it's on the third floor? No, second floor. Yeah.
And maybe somebody will have a floral arrangement of the modern art section with
or you say it?
I don't remember how to pronounce it.
The Tatra?
The Tatra. I was going to call it the torpedo.
I just want a bouquet of Frida Kahlo flowers, if you know what I mean.
I want a bouquet of Tatra flowers.
Oh, no, you're talking about
George O'Keeffe. I'm sorry, yeah.
The George O'Keeffe? Oh, yes.
I don't know why I autismed that one, but yeah, I did.
I mean, Frida Kahlo did have some seductive self-portraits, but that was mostly titties.
Yes, they're both good. I like them.
Both good.
There's this TV show that's called What We Do in the Dark. And it's about these vampires.
No, What We Do in the Shadows.
I'm sorry, whatever.
I was gonna say What We Do in the Dark. I think is a little bit different.
I can't remember that. It's a very wordy name. But anyway, What We Do in the Shadows, and it's about vampires. And it's kind of like The Office, like Parks and Rec, but it's with vampires.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guys, he's really into botany and shaping doing like hedge sculptures.
Okay.
And his favorite thing is he does hedge sculptures of all the important people in his life's genitalia.
Oh, I see. Okay.
He's got some very Georgia O'Keeffe looking hedges in front of his house that
excellent.
his neighbors get to look at.
and because it's an FX show, they do not censor any of it.
Nice.
No, they're very funny. And they were actually cut. Like, they actually cut the hedges to look like these genitalia. It's wonderful.
Hopefully they left them that way.
I really hope they did.
So.
It's really funny. It's like one of the best FX shows. Yeah, it was really, really, really good. I haven't seen any car shows that have really done anything meaningful as far as online stuff. I've seen like attempts, but none of them have really gone off that well.
Mm-hmm.
I think really what Jan was talking about with the museum, that would be the best way to do it, is like do a car show where people submit their own personal, cars and everything and do that. So Jan, you should actually talk to me about that, and maybe I can do something for JNC or something.
Yeah, like there would be, and it would be cool too to maybe somehow, instead of it just being pictures of your cars, because we can see that, we can just all post on Facebook, but do something like an art, like try to recreate a piece of art with your car or something, like
yeah, it'd be really
bit
cool.
More interactive, like
yeah,
do a burnout in the shape of a genitalia.
Yeah, or like just
try to recreate like a famous picture of your car, like but with your car and you. Yeah, that'd be really kind of cool.
Just like I'll think of something. I promise you, Carbitrage viewers, I will think of a unique car show that we can do through the internet.
X-do?
I was gonna say experience and then
X-do.
I like X-do. X-do is fine.
I like X-do. It sounds more Latin. So
X-do brute.
What I want to talk about, I guess as far as art goes, is the art that was on the side of old SUVs in the 1980s.
Oh, God.
Those are the best parts of those trucks. You know what I'm talking about, the Toyota Gradient and stuff.
I am well aware, yes.
So Toyota UAE, now these both are came out in the same week. Toyota UAE was doing a Heritage Edition Land Cruiser, and Suzuki was doing a retro graphics package for the Jimny, for the brand new one.
Nice.
That you can get from the factory. Both these you can get from the factory. We can bring up the photos of them. The Toyota UAE one.
Well, I have the Land Cruiser up, but
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
So they have the V6 and the V8 one. The V6 comes with the yellow, orange, red, and brown, or red and maroon gradient, and then the V8 comes with black, gray, silver, and light silver on white.
The V6 one is much better.
Yeah, way cooler. But I mean, they're both great. I'm not sure if they're unique to those ones, but that's just the way they're listed on there. But yeah, really cool. Janet, can you see those
I gotta go
gradient packages? You would love them.
Oh, yes, I do like those.
Now look at the Suzuki Jimny ones, because the Jimny ones, Suzuki I think won
Oh,
this.
God, you keep adding links.
I didn't add links. This was there before.
It just showed up for me.
Oh,
The Land Cruiser one was there. Oh, yes. Oh,
the Suzuki one is.
I
way
can't tell
better.
if it's a
Perfect.
solo cup or a Sea-Doo, but I like it.
Oh my god, yeah, and they like totally. You can see Ben added some of the original Jimneys as well,
Oh,
so you can
yes.
see like how they look. Oh, it's so cool.
We need more giant turbo decals on stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Suzuki's here to do that because they now have a giant turbo decal on the Jimny.
Excellent.
That's
Oh,
great. It's
yes.
like bigger than the door handle. It's just massive.
This is great.
So
Oh, look at they're so cute.
Merci,
I
Jimny.
know.
What a great
yeah, they're just
vehicle.
fast. Yeah, so you can get that. I really like the blue one with the black, purple, and white gradient, and it also matches on the spare tire cover as well. So
I like how they all have the same unused surfboard on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
the exact same surfboard. Yeah, it's the one they have in stock. They've probably had that since the 80s.
Probably true.
That's great.
I'm sure it's a very high-end surfboard. It's probably worth a lot of money now that it's not ever been used.
Yeah, it's just like ancient.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I thought you guys would totally appreciate seeing that. I'm sorry, every time
I always
move, my chair
appreciate
falls
Jimmy's.
apart a little bit more. I'm
We,
really bummed. This chair is so old. I've had it forever.
we of course always appreciate the Jimny. I mean, when we're in the studio, there is a Jimny and a Honda City EV that never leaves the screen. So
Yeah,
that's
they
how we
are
feel.
Our favorite vehicles.
That's how we
love them.
actually feel about them. So anyway,
Yeah, it's the greatest vehicle. I'm very happy for them. And I like that Toyota UAE is like leading the Toyota Rad movement.
Right.
Like not Toyota of Japan,
Or
it's
like
Toyota UAE.
even like South Africa or something, I could see somebody doing something like this there. But
Well, yeah, South Africa, they still have early the 1980s Land Cruiser in production. and
yeah, I was
something
gonna
up
say
there.
they still make the original one, so they can still just buy the decal packs. But anyway, I want to move over to actually electric stuff, which has been oddly a little slow in the news in the last couple of weeks. But you guys are all, of course, familiar with the Model 3. It's the best-selling EV right now by a not small margin. We kind of like it because it's a sedan and it drives pretty well. Model Y is now actually doing deliveries. I'm not going to talk about it because it's a stupid crossover. But I do want to talk about something that's actually tangible and coming to the United States later this summer. Because there's a lot of stuff out there like the EQC that's more or less vaporware for the United States. And I don't really like talking about it just because we really can't get it. But one of the coolest ones that we've actually talked about in this last year is the Volvo Polestar 2. And it's
Yes.
actually coming here this summer, and it's actually going to start at $60,000 before the credit.
That's
So,
actually
not bad.
affordable, and it looks great.
It looks really good. You know it's going to have the world's most comfortable seats in it. It's a little bit lighter than a Model S, and it still has 408 horsepower. It's got Öhlins suspension in it.
You know what?
What?
That looks more like a Saab than it does a Volvo, and I mean that in the best way possible.
Yeah, it definitely has the... Yeah, I mean, it looks muscular and poised and kind of has... Yeah, I agree.
It's a great car. That looks amazing. I love that.
Yeah, I've been a fan of the design on the Polestar 2. I mean, it looks a little bit like a smushed crossover, but the real reason that all of them kind of look the same and have similar specifications is because they have to have that stack of cells below the inner floor, essentially. So everything's going to be like 4 inches higher than you're used to. But I think considering the constraints, this thing looks awesome. It's still a 4-door. It's a hatch, which is great. All the power to
really
Volvo.
cool.
This is great. I hope to see a lot of these.
Yeah, they did a really good job on this. I don't give new cars credit ever, because I'm always very afraid that it's not going to go very well.
Mm-hmm.
But this one I will give full credit to, because I've got faith in Volvo making a good, EV.
Yeah.
I think it's really solid. What city's in the background, this main photo? It looks like Hong Kong. I think that's Hong Kong.
It could be. I don't know, because I
Because
see a
all
lot
these,
of
like,
really
all
nice
these-
and a lot of really shit buildings.
Yeah, these really shit buildings. These look very like 1970s Chinese. I honestly would rather live in one of those than one of the fancy buildings, to be honest. Though.
I'll live in the fancy building then. You can share my Wi-Fi.
No, like I'm sure at the penthouse, it'd be really rad to have that garbage-looking building and then have the penthouse suite, and it looks awesome inside the penthouse.
Sure, I
suite.
could see that. Yeah.
Like I would like that. Like if somebody actually, not Carbitrage, the real estate podcast.
I was gonna say this is such a digression. It's just weird. I'm not even mad. It's
But I mean,
just
like,
weird.
I think that this would be a really cool like restoration project for like a lot of real estate developers. Get one of these like iconic Hong Kong like skyscrapers and actually make it super nice, but you still have the aesthetic of like, yeah, I live in Hong Kong, but like it's actually really cool. It's like a restomodded like derelict build.
Yeah, as long as you're able to find a bunch of people that are well funded and willing to, also be on the same page, essentially.
I think
That's
that
a
would
big
be
ask,
cool.
but maybe.
I'm sure you could make that sale. And it's just like restoring a Victorian mansion, except from like Chinese 1960s communist standards.
Wow.
Anyway, so
It's not though, because you wouldn't want the original stuff. You would want to update it, which is not restoring. It's flipping.
Anyway,
I would elaborate, but there's no reason to do so. It's really not relevant.
yeah, there's absolutely no way to
Sorry,
do so.
Ryan just
It's
said
not-
something entirely wrong, and I didn't
I know
like
it really hurts to not
I
respond
think that
to
would be
it.
a cool building to make cool on the inside and still leave the outside looking
Anyway,
like retro.
78
Not
kilowatt
have to deal
hours.
with all the garbage.
Looks good. All-wheel drive, whatever. 400 horsepower, 60 grand coming. There you go.
Okay.
I think Edward Cullen, it's time to update to this. If you
Are they going to do a fourth Twilight movie? Twilight 10th
They've already
year
done all
class
the
reunion.
Twilights.
I know they could do another one. Say a 10th year class reunion.
Oh God.
Like Edward
I
Cullen's
don't think the
bald.
world needs any.
He still looks just as young because he's a vampire, but he's bald. Anyway,
What? How did a
Oh
vampire?
my
go
god. So anyway, Ryan, tell me about
So-
Pebble Beach.
So last week, Car Week was canceled for 2020. By last week, I mean this week in real life. But since this is dropping next week,
I see. You're on
Now
the
I'm-
ball.
I am on the ball because this whole story that I have here, I'm gonna go out on a whim and say sometime within the next 5 days between recording this and when this drops, the rest of Car Week will get canceled.
Oh,
Because
sure.
right now
yeah.
it's just Concours and Legends of the Autobahn. But once you get Concours and Legends of the Autobahn, that's all the pre-war cars and all the German cars that are gone. So it's just gonna be a bunch of Japanese cars and Italian cars.
Which I mean is
Like-
great, but not
It's
not
great
the
and all,
event
but
it
it's
should
not
be.
Car
So
Week. just cancel.
I'm
it.
totally
Give them
fine
a
with
day off.
this because I wouldn't have even had enough PTO to do it this year. So this is gonna set me up better for 2021 anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I will be going to 2021. Like, want to go to that real bad.
Yeah, that would be that'd be very excellent.
So I think, I'm just trying to think of any other than actually going to Concours itself and going to Goodwood. There are no other dream car shows I can think of off the top of my head that I've not gone to ever. So
Wow, look
can
at
start
that
to-
photo. Wow, it's just
Wow.
Citroens as far as the eye can see.
Oh yeah, it was from last year.
Oh,
Last year
those-
Citroen was the featured mark.
Those exhausts are just silly
Wonderful.
gorgeous.
Ooh,
Oh,
they
I want a
are.
DS convertible now, damn it. You
I-
imagine
DS.
how many days it takes to put the top down on that car.
Probably
many.
none. Because it's probably hydraulic and it's probably very quick and it'll probably cut your fingers off.
Okay, fine, fair.
It's probably terrifying to take the top down on that car.
Stalls the
Deus
engine.
so bad.
Yeah, like it's got to be just like the worst. Eric, why don't you buy a DS?
I don't actually really want one, but I would rather make a Fiat 500e Jolly, honestly. I know that's in no way related to French cars, but like if I were to buy a French car, it would be a De Chevaux.
Oh,
Okay.
A
really?
DS I like, but
You
they're
can get a
they're
Dochevaux, I'll
huge.
get a Deus. We'll be covered.
Okay,
I
fine.
mean, like realistically, like this is a really good time to buy cars. Like we were talking about last episode.
I know,
or
but I've already bought
before.
cars, and like Corey's bought a car too. So like we have.
Listen, I'm watching this video of these old boomers walk around your garage, and I'm seeing all this space between your dryer and your E30. They put a De Chevaux in, and it's not being filled up with the De Chevaux. So I mean, what the heck? Like,
If I found a running, driving, not completely rusted to pieces De Chevaux for like $5,000, I might consider it. But that just
it might be
isn't.
possible.
I don't think that's gonna happen. It would be so much fun to have a De Chevaux, though.
I'm looking them up right now.
Oh God, I am so sorry, podcast listeners.
You should bring up your next topic.
Okay. So remember in 2015, I think it was 15 plus minus 1, Audi decided to axe all manual transmissions for the United States.
Yeah, and just give people their god-awful trash pile 09G.
Yeah,
sure they're
so
putting that.
with the worst engines ever, they are now giving people only trash pile automatics and DSGs, which are also garbage. I was looking for stories, admittedly today, and I found one that was not at all from this week, but pretty recent, and that was worth me talking about Audi on, because they are facelifting the A3, and every single variant of it is going to be offered with a 6-speed or a 6-speed manual now, which is
Wow.
so Audi is officially done with their abstinence on manuals for the United States for now, at least. So
That's good.
That's
I
pretty. I mean, the A3 is
I
a
just-
terrible
I don't
vehicle,
know.
but
It's-
at least you can get.
You're not gonna want it.
No,
like,
but
cool.
people might buy it. I don't know.
Instead of having $45,000 of problems, you're now gonna have $40,000 worth of problems.
Yeah, but it'll
on
be
top of
much
everything
more
for the car.
enjoyable in the meantime before it breaks.
I mean, I guess. I don't know. At the
Sorry,
end of the
much
day-
less unenjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, okay. It's still gonna smell like crayons. So,
I don't even
yeah,
mind
that
the
goes.
crayon. My mother apparently has been complaining to my dad about the S55 AMG's interior odor. I'm like, oh yeah, that's just German leather crayons.
German leather
That
crayons.
smell.
Yep. So anyway, all the press photos in this story are DSG. What the hell? This is a shit story at the drive. But nevertheless, it's worth bringing up because manuals are the best transmission and automatics are terrible all the time.
So, that's true. That's very true. By
Mm-hmm.
the way, I found a 81 Citroen de Chevaux 6 special that was $10,000 on Bring a Trailer.
That is double what I'd be
Yeah.
willing to pay for a DS.
But-
that is not highly
but-
debatable. The automatic
that's not highly
transmission thing.
debatable. However, that is really close because normally those go for like $20,000 in that.
I know,
condition.
and they're unattainable for me realistically, and I understand that.
Well,
but-
that's a super clean one though. But I mean, like finding an okay one for $5,000 is
Mm-hmm.
gonna be possible at some point after COVID.
that
so
would be
actually
super
with
cool.
that-
I should talk to Michael.
Yeah, well, you should.
Oh yeah, Michael. I
Hope
miss
he's
you.
okay. What do you think about
I
that?
do
Sure.
too.
He's probably fine because
Do you know who else I hope is okay?
Hmm.
Val Kilmer.
I haven't heard anything about him. I like
Oh
that
my
Betty
God.
White's press or her like agent actually came out and reassured everybody that Betty White is currently okay.
That's good.
Like that's my favorite part. Yeah, Betty White is okay.
of course she is. She can
so
outlast
with
time
COVID,
itself.
Bring a Trailer has always been a wonderful place to buy great cars for amazing prices, right?
Well, fair prices.
Fair prices, but you can occasionally get the deal.
You can.
Like if there's some really good deals. to be
BAT
had.
is notoriously the place to buy the best car for $1,000 more than you wanted to spend.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it. It's $1,000 more than you wanted to spend, but the thing is you're getting
you benefit massively from spending that extra $1,000.
You're spending more than it's like going to a dealership. Except you don't have a car salesman, you're the car salesman to yourself. That's what it is. So with COVID, BAT prices have been like really low.
Mm-hmm. Oh god, yeah, they have been.
Their close rate has been like apocalyptic because there's a lot of cars that haven't been hitting reserve.
I love that adjective. Apocalyptic.
But so there's some really good deals to be had if you have some money and you're buying a trailer right now. So what I decided we should do is I decided we should do the COVID-19 Bring a Trailer Challenge. We have a $40,000 price limit.
Okay.
And you have to pick cars that you would actually purchase within that price limit.
Okay.
It doesn't have, you don't have to, of course, buy all of them all at once, but there's 3 cars, one that's closer to that 40K mark, one that's that's like in the middle, and one that's just like really cheap, but you want it anyway. So what I started with, from my low end, if you want to bring that up on the stream, Eric, it is a wonderful purchase. It's very me. It is a Mitsubishi, in fact.
Oh my god.
Yes, it is a
oh no.
Mitsubishi TM15FL 3-wheel pickup. I am so...
Ryan, why?
Look at it! Why would I not want that, honey? We could take it back to the 50s. I could haul things in it. Tires would only cost 75% of the equivalent other Mitsubishi model. Like, I'm a big fan of this. This is great. I would totally buy this. And this sold for $2,200.
Ryan, your yard is going to look so terrible. It's full of all this bullshit.
Yeah.
These are actually pretty easy to restore because there's not really anything to them. And there were a ton of these sold in Japan, so you can actually still get parts for them. They're very, very common all over Southeast Asia, and they actually would continue selling various versions of this for a long time. So you can actually get parts for them still, which I think is really cool. So yeah, this would actually be a really good project for $2,200. That's a screaming deal. I would expect to pay, honestly, probably closer to $9,000 in one, assuming that this one's got a good chassis on it. Mm-hmm. That would be much closer to what this would be worth, is $9,000 or $10,000. Otherwise, it's just this guy got hosed by COVID, big time on this one. My number 2 choice, actually, I have mine mixed up here. So, would you bring up my quote-unquote top-end choice, Eric? Because this one is the deal of a lifetime as well. This would be a 1985 Mercedes 500 SEC that I found for $20,000.
Is it a manual?
With 70,000 miles. No, it's automatic. It's a 500 SEC, but it's a 500 SEC. And it's AMG, at least the body kit.
Yeah, but AMG made a bell housing for this.
That's true. They're super rare though. This is also a single cam, so it makes it $20,000. But that's a really screaming deal for this car. You can have a whole lot. I mean, it's a beautiful car. Just that's like the most me car you could possibly make.
Yeah, I can picture you driving an SEC for sure.
Oh yeah, I want an SEC real hard in the pants.
Well,
it's got 70,000. It's got 70,000 miles on it.
It's a nice looking car, and it's so 80s. God, that is Radwood right there.
Yeah, this is totally me. It's black. This car looks the best in black. I like white, but black fits this car perfectly. For my top end, this car has not sold yet, but this is definitely the coolest flathead I've ever seen. I had never seen one of these, ever, until this one came up for sale, and I had to look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dude, the thing was awesome. I honestly thought it was a Hudson Hornet at first, but it's not.
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
No.
Dude, it's a 3 on the tree manual Ford flathead Lincoln 9EL convertible.
I do
No
like
idea what a 9EL
the
is.
recessed headlights. It's like super modern, but
Yeah, and the interior looks great.
I haven't gotten to the interior yet. Oh, those taillights are terrible. Oh, the side profile. Ugh, I hate this. I
like
really
that.
hate this.
I
Oh,
don't understand.
okay. I found a part that's okay.
The interior with the 3 pedals and the flathead. The flathead engine
There
is
we
beautiful.
go. All right. This is fine now. I'm fine.
But anyway, this I have no idea how much this is going to sell for. I'm really hoping it'll for under 30, but this would be my top end one because I would totally get this for back to the 50s. It's also got an electric overdrive. I have no idea how that works with a manual transmission.
It's a box that sticks on the back, and it's a 2-speed planetary, and it just uses a magnetic clutch. They're super reliable and not complicated. They're super cool. That's
cool.
An aftermarket piece.
Go. Perfect.
Yeah.
I would totally drive this. But yeah, 152 horsepower. I have a flathead.
That's
from the factory.
Good for 1949, I gotta say.
It's a 336 cubic inch. So
yeah,
that's
the Lincoln ones
truck engine.
were the same size as the truck engines. Yep.
Okay, yeah, so it was the truck engine.
All right, Jana, what was your cheap choice?
I didn't really. I just picked 3.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll just load your first one then.
Yeah. Her first one is a car we've been looking for forever. That would be your
Fintail. Yep.
Yep. It doesn't have a red interior, but it's pretty stinking cute. And it's not quite. It's a little too old for back to the 50s. So I'd like. Yeah. Too new.
Yeah, you'd have to get a 64, but. Oh,
so it's like an older one with a red interior, but this is a good start.
Well, you can always, the beautiful thing with the 200s is they're not super collectible, so I don't think anybody would lose sleep if you were to take the beige interior and make it red.
Yeah, but it'd feel dirty to me.
That's fair. That's really fair. I get that.
If it comes down to it and I find 64 or older black fintail without a red interior and it's the deal of a lifetime, then I would.
Well,
but I'd have to make sure that the seats wouldn't weren't in nice condition if I was to remake them red.
Yeah, oh, okay.
Whereas
yeah,
these seats are
perfect,
in perfect condition.
Yeah, I think also this car, given the condition that it's in, this will probably sell for under 30.
Yeah.
Just because it's the fintail, but I mean, this is definitely the best fintail that's been on Bring a Trailer ever.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to.
Wow, I think a cop just lost a street race out there. He's such a loser. He turned his lights on. Yeah, wow. Oh, another one. Oh, that must be the guy he lost to. I don't know. Anyway.
But yeah, this would be a really good car, honey.
Yeah, it's really pretty. Definitely the best example I've seen on Bring a Trailer in a while.
This is the Bakelite dashboard.
I'm assuming
yeah, I kind of.
I'm a big fan of that dashboard, honey.
I know you are.
I love the Bakelite. It smells like formaldehyde. Yeah.
God.
Dude, talk about weird German interior odor.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong either with the odor parallel, but.
I think I'd rather have the Bakelite than the wood. It's more cool.
I low-key want the wood.
That's fair. I like the Bakelite.
My
so either way, one of us
smells
is
like it too. Yeah, I've got Bakelite in my car, so.
Nice.
Yeah, one of us will be happy.
Oh, this isn't regardless. The one. This is the wrong one.
Oh, Gianna.
Right.
I can quickly send the right one.
Yeah, could you send the right one, please? That's what I was asking if you had put them in.
Well, I'm sorry, I lost it because I.
Wow, another loser cop driving by.
Waiting for them to not make noise. Did you send it yet?
I'm putting it in Discord.
Okay. Well, while you're putting it into Discord, let's talk about your third choice.
Yeah, let's talk about my
Land
third
Cruiser.
choice, which is the Land Cruiser. This wasn't quite the one, but it'll do. I saw a few different Land Cruisers and FJs that I liked.
And this one actually closed out for $14,000, which is a screaming deal on a FJ62.
Yeah.
The 88s were not as desirable, though, because they were auto only, even though they were fuel injected. 87 was the last year of the stick, but you got a carb with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this one would be the fuel injection. It's
in Quebec too, so that's going to be harder to deal with. Not terrible.
No, that's not a terrible choice. And I was just trying to find it real quick because Jen and
Oh, that's.
yeah. But
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't understand.
Okay.
I thought I was only picking one.
Don't worry, it's got a navigation system, guys.
Oh god, really? I must have picked the totally wrong one.
Doubled in.
Yeah, you picked a different one because I think I wanted an FJ, not a Land Cruiser. But that's fine. There's just a lot of Toyotas to choose from.
Oh god,
it's
got
one
a
that
3F
had
inline 6. Man, those things are slow.
Well, yeah, but they're reliable.
Very
Right,
reliable.
found
But
a
they're like
random
That's why
120
he's buying it.
horsepower.
Well, that's what I was wondering. That's why I asked if one that sold or one that was still up.
It was one that's still up.
Oh.
That's all that I was just looking at the auctions.
Okay. Was it
Live auctions.
the silver one?
I'll let you guys sort that out on your own, I guess. I will start with my low end.
Yeah, why don't you do that, and we'll get Jana's last two. Once.
I sent the.
Just put them in the notes, Shannon. It's fine.
Okay.
You put them in the notes, please.
So, this has not yet closed, and I don't... It definitely will not crest 40 because it's a Roadster, not a coupe, but a 2002 M Roadster, which is one of 2 years where you could get the proper engine in these things. And also, it's in a color. Almost all of these things that close on the low end of price are sold in silver, white, black. It's just boring.
Those aren't colors.
This is finished in Laguna Seca Blue, which is a terrible color for this particular chassis, but the fact that it is a color is very good. So I don't really know what this is going to sell for.
I'm not mad about that color.
It's fine. It's just not good on this chassis. This should be a Storal Blue or a Mola Red or...
I kind of like it in that. It's like a hot boy color.
Oh yeah, it looks great on my E46, but it's just weird on the E36. It's like a retro dated color on this chassis. It's just really strange. It's like painting an E36 M3 Laguna Seca Blue. It's just not smart.
I mean, E36 M3 is. I mean, I can get that, but this car I really like in this color because it is as odd as it is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a very rare combination, but yeah, if this thing closes for even like less than 30, that's pretty solid. But really, I mean, this particular example, I don't really care. You can pick up one of these in silver for like 13 or 14 grand right now. One of the good ones, the 01 or the 02. So I would highly recommend just doing that instead. I mean, having a color is nice, but really getting the drivetrain in the E36-7 Z3 Roadster is kind of where it's at. So that's my low-end choice. I think this is going to go sub 30. My middle of the road choice, and this one I think has actually probably taken the biggest hit with COVID, is a 2012 Fisker Karma. This sold sub 30. This was $28,000.
What?
I looked at these before I bought my Tesla, and they were all in the upper 30s. And I was like, that's not worth it because it's not as good.
I would honestly... If you ever came across like the right Fisker Karma, I would rather have that over a Model S if I were you. Like personally,
for my use, it would have been just totally stupid. But yeah, I mean they're beautiful cars.
Like the autopilot, it's just a daily driver.
But yeah, the Fisker Karma is super cool. I remember the first time I saw one of these at Cars and Coffee, and the weird noise that they make, the compliance noise, but they actually had some fun with it. But I mean, imagine if something happened to the interior of the body on this thing, he would be so hosed.
That would be awful.
Yeah,
that's not a good daily driver by any means. Look at that interior; it's wild.
I know. Henrik Fisker really has a good eye for design. So,
yeah,
but I mean, a lot of the components are GM, so I mean, it probably would be okay. I don't really know it does have 4 hub motors, but I don't know anything about the inverter or the pack or anything like that. I figure worst case, even if the drivetrain largely died, you could still drive it as a plug-in.
Yeah, pretty much at that point. It's a wonderful vehicle.
But I really love
there was
these.
somebody when those first came out, when I was living in Richfield, there was somebody in Richfield that had one, which I love the idea of somebody living in like Richfield, like a totally okay at best suburb,
Yep.
and owning one of these.
Mhm.
Like those are the correct priorities.
Yeah, these were very not cheap.
Oh no, they're not, and I love them so much. Like they're just so wild.
Yeah.
I love it.
You know it's good
God,
because it
that's
has a
cool.
Y-VIN.
Yeah, I know, right?
And my top end, and this is actually something I'm not currently looking for, but I have actually shopped for in the past for my family. And that is a 2007 Aston Martin V8 Vantage Coupe. This sold for $36,750 on 4/22/20. These are very hard to find under 40 grand in reasonable condition. This has done 44,000 miles.
That's in Canada.
LSD. Oh shoot, I didn't even notice that. They
seller's
sold
name
them
was
here
Booty.
though, so substantially similar, shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
So okay, you can nullify this one, but either way, that's
No, that one's fine. Like, it's $36,000. How much would one be in America?
over 40.
Well over 40. I would venture that the amount of dicking around you'd have to do to get that.
All
into
it
the country,
takes is one letter from the manufacturer saying that it is indeed substantially similar. That's it. And
Yeah,
maybe
so I would
the
think-
KMH cluster. So I mean, maybe not.
I think that the amount of dicking around you'd have to do to get that into America legally, that would probably pay for the difference.
Probably. I don't think it would be very tough.
No, it wouldn't be. That'd be a really good one. Jana updated her cars with the correct
did.
links.
Oh, excellent.
I am so sorry I got the wrong ones, honey.
It's all good.
So let's start with the Datsun Roadster then.
Yes. And I get why she wanted that Datsun Roadster, because that one is much better than the one I saw.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh god, it's like okay, it's still active. That makes sense. I'm like, wow, that's cheap.
Yeah. But there's only 2 days left.
6 days.
Even then. Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, there's 6 days left, but I mean, that was still well within that 40K
Oh,
range.
absolutely.
Those
Yeah.
have been getting hit really hard. The Datsun 2000 Roadsters, the pre-Z car Datsun Fairladies.
Yeah,
Those
I just
have been
think
getting...
this is super cute.
It's a
Yeah.
5-speed. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, these have been getting hit really hard with coronavirus. I don't know why, but it's like everybody that's been selling them has been selling them without reserve, and they've just been like taking an L on every single. So yeah, honey, you could, if you wanted that, you would be able to get that for sure, very easily, and you'd be very happy with it.
I would be very happy with it. It's just so cute.
Oh,
I
yeah.
would be able to live my spy fantasies.
God, 1960s
They're-
undercoating. Oh god.
Yeah.
I know it's bad, but the good news is, honey, that car is going to be bulletproof reliable when you compare it to like the MG or whatever it was supposed to be like competing against.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah, like that's there are people that, you know, like the Michael Emery from Bring a Trailer.
Yeah.
He has one, and his only modification he does, he put in modern seats. For
Yeah, and
road
it's
trip.
like, it's a Jana car. You see it, you go, ah, yeah, it makes sense. It's
Yeah.
Jana size.
And it's got your favorite color combo.
Yeah.
Yeah, black and red's pretty
100%.
good.
Yeah, it's a great color combo. Also, speaking about your third choice, I also fully understand why it is incorrect on my selection.
That looks a lot like Richard Hammond's FJ from the Bolivia special before he ruined
Yeah.
it.
Yes. Like that, I see why she would want FJ40, not FJ62.
Yeah.
And also that price, holy crap!
Yeah, what
I
the hell
know,
is going on there?
With 2 days left.
I really hope that guy has a reserve on that. Otherwise, that guy's to spend is like $2 in money that he made. Go buy a rope.
Oh, Ryan, don't worry, it has Rancho suspension. Probably straight from O'Reilly's.
No, Rancho's Napa branded.
Really?
But either way, I mean, it's unrestored. But even then, why on earth would this be worth not $30,000? I don't get it.
Yeah, that seems pretty solid.
That's why I was so drawn to it.
Yeah, Jana, this would be a great vehicle for you. And also, it's got the original glass in it, which is really still Toyota and Katakana there.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love this. I mean, this is a way better pick than what I had.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Look at all that. All the little gear shifter selections and everything. Yeah. This is great. I'm a big fan of this. I'm like really nerding out over this.
All much lower dollar suggestions, and I still like them. There were a couple other things I was looking at too that were much cheaper. Like there were a couple like really basic early '90s 5 Series on there that were just going for nothing. There's a GMC Cyclone that the bidding was super low on. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff right now. I actually, as we were going through, I added I think 7 cars to my watch list just to see what they would end up going for, just to try to keep tabs on what's going on right now. Because that's just so messed up.
So going back to my 560 SEC, I just noticed that there's 2 days left on an 87 M6, which is the perfect car to put in a garage next to a 560.
Yeah, but the wheels on that are bad, and it doesn't look like it's in very good
rubbish.
condition, and also E24s are dumb.
No, the E24 is my favorite BMW.
It's also the worst BMW.
That may be true, but it is still my favorite.
It is as bad as modern BMWs.
I can't possibly be that bad.
It is. The electrical systems on those cars and the parts interchangeability on the E24 is as bad as an air-cooled VW bus.
Oh, that's awful.
It's really bad.
Love it.
It's really every year was something different. I swear to God.
Oh man,
yeah, they're so bad. Everyone that's picked one of those up for cheap and been like, "Oh, it's a great deal," has regretted it immensely.
So maybe I wouldn't be buying.
Probably should avoid the E24.
Okay, maybe I wouldn't want that one. However, there is that Guards Red 2.6 190. Sadly, has the incorrect transmission. But everything else is so
I think it's Signal Red. I think Guards is Porsche.
What is it? I can't remember.
Signal Red, I think.
Signal Red. Yep. Yeah, it's Signal Red. Yeah, same thing. It's German red. That it's also two-tone red, which is great.
That's true.
Yeah, did you see this Mercedes?
The later clad one, so it's got like the burgundy cladding and the Signal Red paint.
Here, I'm gonna just throw the link into the notes so you can bring this one up. But I think what we're learning here with everything is when you are selling a collector car, regardless of how desirable said car is, or how weird said car is in my case, always put a reserve on it. This is that Mercedes, so Jana can see it. It is wonderful.
I do like the W201. If I found a well-priced 2.6 5-speed, I would buy it.
Oh, yeah, no question. 2.6 5-speed would be wonderful.
Especially if it's a sport line.
Yeah. If it was a sport line, you didn't buy that, I'd consider you a fool for the rest of your life.
Yep.
But, so, my last link that I put at the very end is a perfect example of why you always put a reserve on your vehicle.
A 2.6 has been on a crash.
Yeah, it looked like it. I saw it doing running. But that this last car I put up here, it's a 75 Skyline 2000 GT hardtop. It's not a GTR, but still a Kenmurray, which is my favorite body style of Skyline. And it's the non-wide body, so you get the really cool body line over the rear wheel arch.
I was just gonna say I don't like that line at all.
It works on some cars more than others.
It just makes the rear wheel looks like it's like a 9-inch wheel, and the front looks like a 13.
I mean, it kind of is. But anyway, this car it's sold for $35,000.
No, it's bid to $35,000.
Yeah, sorry, it's bid to $35,000. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. But if this had sold for $35,000, if this guy had not put a reserve on this, he would have taken the ultimate L, because this car is $50,000 easy all day long, no question. Regardless of condition.
But reserve cars get bid less. That's just how it works.
That's true.
So it's kind of a double-edged sword. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's just like it's one of those things where if you have a car, like if not done that, because if you look at the date that it sold on, 3/9,
Yeah.
that's right when coronavirus is getting real.
Oh yeah.
Like, right when people were freaking out
Dude,
at first,
I passed
and
up
the dude lived in Washington.
a Nissan Leaf rebuild, whatever, that ran and drove for $2,300 that I had bid $3,000 on the week prior.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so it came back up, and like this is when I thought I was going to get furloughed too. So I'm like, no, I will spend a little bit, but I really can't risk that. So I mean, yeah, nobody was spending money right then, so I get that.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where when you have a collector car, I think our good Carbitrage top tip is that you should always put a reserve on your.
If BAT lets you.
Yeah, if they let you.
Decide.
Yeah, they are the deciding factor. But if you can put a reserve on, you totally should. Because, yeah, this guy just had his butt saved. Anyway, I want to do a What We Learned this week. Because I got a good one.
Well, then go first.
All right. The thing that I learned was that Kim Jong-un had a heart transplant, didn't go well. He might be dead. This is as of 4/25/2020. We don't know if Kim Jong-il is still alive. His sister, if she's the next in line for being the dictator of North Korea.
Okay.
She would be not only the first female communist dictator in the world, but also the first female elected official with connected earlobes. Is the longest photography has been around.
I'm trying to find a picture of her right now.
I can't remember. If you scroll back up, it says this whole family. You'll see a sister there. But let's see here. What? Oh my God! So, yeah, I'm just sending a really funny text message. But if you scroll there, you'll see this. It's right there, Kim Yo Jong.
Ah.
But anyway, you can see her ears. She's got those weird connected earlobes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really weird. But anyway, she'd be the first communist dictator that's a female, and the first communist dictator with connected earlobes.
Ugh.
God, it looks so weird.
Yeah, that's a very big picture.
Yeah, look at that earlobe.
Anyway.
Isn't it weird?
I much rather would look at this 1975 skyline.
Than Kim Jong-il's weird connected earlobe sister. Anyway, what'd you learn?
I guess I'll cop out and say that I learned that not only do mortgage rates significantly trail Fed rate changes, but auto loans really significantly trail Fed rate changes.
That's true. That's very true. You also learned about the Fiat suspension. Oh, you told that last
yeah,
week,
I did say that, but fucking Mazda did not lay out the ND very well mechanically.
I mean, they laid it out well for
it works
performance.
Great. Once it was all back together, I immediately forgot about the trials and tribulations I went through to get it done. But man, compared to a German car, that thing is just ridiculous.
That's quite the statement. Because German cars aren't exactly known for being simple.
They're much easier to work on than Japanese cars.
Wow, not always.
Across the board, everything Japanese have ever worked on has been immensely frustrating because they haven't designed it to come apart easily. That is one thing I will give Porsche credit for. Absolutely every job on that car that is done for maintenance or modification can be done without the removal of any component that shouldn't have to be removed easily.
I'm trying to think about that.
Because like doing the water pump on the K-Series, doing a strut on the Fiat 124, it's just like things that like people are gonna want to do.
Japanese cars are really good for ridiculous things, but for normal maintenance, I think you have a good point. So like doing something like taking the engine out of a Civic is way easier than taking out of any other vehicle on Earth.
Yeah.
But doing an alternator in a Civic is the worst thing on Earth.
Exactly. It's almost easier in a car like that to pull the engine to do the alternator.
It is actually. It is less time. So I think you have got a really good point there. I think if you qualify it with maintenance is easier on a Japanese car, or on a German car than a Japanese car, you would be correct.
Well, I mean, I consider maintenance like oil change and spark plug type of stuff, and I don't think that that's particularly hard to do on a Japanese car. But I do want to say that like tier 1 mechanical labor is way easier on a German car. Like everything from brakes to water pumps.
That's your correct statement right
there.
Like
the light mechanical stuff is just way better done on a German car than it is on a Japanese car. But here's the thing: the Japanese one lasts like 5 times as long, so you very likely will never have to touch it.
No, that's the thing: is the Japanese car, the tier 1 stuff is terrible to do.
Yeah.
Toyota terribly as awful alternators to diagnose because their alternators are really weird. However, you never run into Toyota alternator issues, right? You will run into some sort of other catastrophic issue. Got belt.
Pretty much.
Luckily, taking that engine out of your Cressida will take a team of people like a weekend to do.
Especially if his name is Sir David Attenborough.
Yeah. So, there we go. Jana, what did you learn?
So Earth Day, the 50th anniversary of Earth Day was April 22nd, and because no one has been around to mow the church's lawn, so we can't go on our playground because we don't know if people from the community have been using it. So the CDC says stay away from playgrounds, so we're staying away from our playground, and so we've been using our courtyard, but nobody has mowed our grass yet, so there's thistles in the grass. So there's no more playing in the grass for my students, so we're just going on walks. But earlier this week they were getting really bored on the walks and not listening, and it's really hard to go on walks with kids when you're right next to the highway if they're not listening. So we decided to go on a trash walk, and they were pointing out trash, and I was picking it up, and I learned not to trust little boys around animal bones.
You should just learn to not trust little boys, period.
Yeah, they're terrible. They're awful. Like, I picked up this part of a bird's skull that was right next to our garbage can. So it was obviously very dirty and probably from a raccoon. And I picked it up and I put it in the grass, and they were really interested in it. And because I work with bones on a daily basis when I'm not at school with little kids, I'm so used to students looking at bones and it not being a problem. But then again, those are college students, not preschoolers. And so I very naively thought, all right, I'm going to put this in the grass and they're going to leave it alone. And then I came into work the next day and I was telling Sydney, like, yeah, this is how our walk went yesterday. And she goes, oh, they found the bird again. And I was like, what? She goes, yeah, all the boys were touching it. And I was like, no! So I had to have a conversation about how disrespectful it is to play with animal bones.
Oh my god. That's awful.
I don't know if it's really disrespectful, it's just weird.
Well, we gave it like a burial.
I guess that's fine. I shouldn't even be elaborating because this is what you learned, not what I learned.
Yeah, so it's like not like, I don't know how to describe it because I don't want them to be scared of bones. And so I told them it was disrespectful and dangerous to play with bones, which I do not agree with, but I'll say whatever it takes so they're not picking up frickin' bones on our walk, because that's just insane. I never thought I'd have to talk to people about not picking up dead things, but apparently that is a thing I have to do constantly, which is not great. It's not
That's
something
pretty
I want to talk
Which
about.
is, well, not great.
It isn't. I don't. And like when I told the kid's mom about it, she's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure we found human bones underneath our porch." And I'm like, excuse me? You didn't call the cops?
Of course not. I put them there.
Right. I really wanted to ask for pictures so I could confirm, but I realized as a teacher asking for that would come off as weird. Not with her not knowing what my other profession is. So that was my end of my week, and also my students were asking me if I had been pregnant, and I was like, no, I don't have kids, I've not been pregnant. And they're like, why don't you get pregnant? And I'm like,
what?
And I was like, with who? And then somebody said their dad, and I was like, we're done with this conversation. I was like,
That's really,
This might
really
be our biggest digression yet. All right.
that was a massive digression. But I'm okay with it. I'm not mad.
It's been a weird week.
I can tell. Wow.
It's just getting weirder and weirder because they're getting more and more comfortable with each other and with me, and it's just like, can we please have more students so we don't have to talk about these very strangely, like, personal topics?
That's so weird.
Yeah, they're insane.
Every time you tell me about these things, I'm just like, what? That happened.
It's just
This is a conversation you had to have as a child. All right.
I did. And it was just the conversations I have to have with them. And like, is this like a normal teacher thing? But all the other preschool teachers I know aren't teaching right now because they're still closed. So I'm like, you're not experiencing any of this strangeness.
Yeah, you're dealing with some weird stuff, honey.
It's weird. I don't like it. I feel like I need to go to counseling.
All right. Well, I need to. We should probably call that for the episode because I just realized that Papa Murphy's next to my house closes in 20 minutes. I want to try and get a pizza real quick.
Fair enough.
Because Gianna was talking about pizzas, so here I am. I'm about to be a dick. So, anyway, thank you for listening. We've learned ridiculous things today about children and Mazdas and the family of Kim Jong-un with their weird connected earlobes. Thank you for listening.
As is customary, you learn at least 50% non-car related stuff for every car related post. Yeah. So there you go.
Exactly. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll be able to buy a high-rise housing complex, renovate it, and make it modern on the inside while retaining the classic 1960s communist look on the outside.
And if you want to know where to start, go to the Volvo Polestar 2 marketing photo, and there you go.
All right, thank you for listening.
All right, bye guys.
Have a great week. Stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Catch you next week.